The most powerful trade bloc in the world just surrendered. After months of threats, negotiations and brinkmanship, Europe's top leader admitted on camera, "This is the best we could get. What you're about to see will shock you." To understand how catastrophic this deal really is, you need to know what Europe was fighting for. Just 2 months ago, EU governments called a 10% tariff their line, a threat that would trigger massive retaliation. The average tariff on European goods? A measly 1.47%. Trump didn't just cross that red line. He obliterated it and somehow convinced Europe to say thank you while he did it. July 12, 2025. Trump drops a nuclear threat, 30% tariffs on all European goods, effective August 1st. That's just 20 days away. European markets panic. The DAX plummets. Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, their stock prices crater as investors realize what's at stake. But here's what the media missed. Trump never intended to impose 30%. This was classic art of the deal psychology. Set an impossible anchor point, then offer a compromise that's still exactly what you wanted all along. Europe fell for it completely. Picture this. The fate of global trade being decided on a luxury golf course in Western Scotland. Not the White House, not Brussels. Turnberry, Trump's personal playground, where membership costs more than most people's homes. Von der Leyen had to fly to his territory, play by his rules with his timeline. The optics alone screamed submission. Here's a woman who represents 450 million Europeans, reduced to begging for mercy on a billionaire's private course. Let's break down what Europe actually surrendered. The 15% tariff applies to everything that matters: cars, pharmaceuticals, semiconductors. That's not just products, that's entire industries employing millions of Europeans. But wait, it gets worse. Europe committed to $600 billion in US investments. That's money being sucked out of European innovation, European jobs, European growth. They're literally funding their own competition. And the energy purchases? $250 billion per year for 3 years on American oil and gas. Translation: Europe will make America energy rich while keeping themselves dependent. Chancellor Friedrich Merz welcomed this deal. Welcomed it. The man whose country builds the cars getting hammered by these tariffs actually celebrated Germany's economic submission. Why? Because German business leaders are terrified. They'd rather pay tribute to Trump than risk total destruction. It's not strategy, it's survival. BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, they were already hemorrhaging under existing tariffs. This deal doesn't save them, it just slows the bleeding. Watch von der Leyen's face during the announcement. This is a woman who knows she just got destroyed. Her words say successful negotiation. Her expression screams economic hostage. 15% is not to be underestimated, but it is the best we could get. That's not diplomatic language. That's a confession. She's basically admitting we had no leverage, no options, and no choice but to surrender. Body language experts would have a field day with this footage. Tight lips, forced smile, defensive posture. This is what defeat looks like in a $20 trillion economy. This isn't Trump's first rodeo. Just 1 week earlier, he'd extracted a nearly identical deal from Japan. $550 billion in investments, 15% tariffs across the board. Japan folded. Now Europe followed suit. See the pattern? Trump's creating a new world order where America extracts tribute from everyone else, not through military conquest, but through economic blackmail. And it's working. The UK, Indonesia, Vietnam, they're all lining up to pay Trump's toll. The era of free trade, dead. Welcome to the age of American economic imperialism. Who actually wins from this deal? Not European consumers paying higher prices. Not European workers losing jobs to American competitors. Not European innovators starved of capital flowing to the US. The winners? American energy companies about to get the largest export contract in history. American defense contractors selling hundreds of billions in weapons to Europe. American workers getting $600 billion in new investment. And Trump himself? He just proved he can bend entire continents to his will. That's the real victory here. Here's what nobody's talking about. These tariffs are a tax on European consumers. Every BMW, every Mercedes, every European pharmaceutical drug just got 15% more expensive overnight. European families will pay more for cars, medicine, technology, all to fund Trump's trade war. But European politicians can't admit this. They have to sell economic pain as diplomatic victory. It's gaslighting on a continental scale. But Trump's not done. While Europe was surrendering in Scotland, his negotiators were preparing for the real fight. China. August 12th, deadline looming. If Trump can break Europe, America's supposed ally, imagine what he'll do to his greatest rival. China's watching this European capitulation very carefully. They're seeing that Trump's threats aren't empty. The question isn't whether China will make a deal, it's how painful that deal will be. Markets initially celebrated. European stocks up, euro stable. But smart money knows this is a sugar high. The fundamental reality hasn't changed. Europe just accepted permanent economic disadvantage. Capital will flow from Europe to America. European competitiveness will decline. American rivals will grow stronger. This isn't a trade deal. It's a wealth transfer program with Europe on the paying end. Here's the bombshell everyone missed. Trump can increase these tariffs anytime he wants if Europe doesn't live up to their investment promises. This isn't a deal. It's economic occupation with an escape clause that only benefits America. Europe didn't negotiate. They surrendered, and they're calling it diplomacy. This is how empires shift. Not through war, but through economic submission. Europe, once America's equal partner, just became America's economic colony. Von der Leyen can call it the best we could get. But history will remember this as the day Europe chose vassalage over sovereignty. What happens next? China's watching, the world's watching, and Trump? He's just getting started. What do you think? Did Europe have any choice, or could they have fought back? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more breaking analysis of the stories reshaping our world.